everybody, it's Brent in Arkansas. We're going to do another maximum grow. This time we're going to grow collards, and we're going to use 85 grams of seed. 85 grams of seed. I believe this is the first time I've ever grown collards, at least by themselves. I may have put it in a mix, I can't quite remember. Anyway, we're going to start off with 85 grams. I pre-wet the medium-sized screen with the super antifungal using organic soap. We've got the seed on. I'm going to hit it with the super antifungal. Saturated it. Really saturate it and start the germination process. The next thing I'm going to do is put my 3-pound food grade cover on top of it. It serves not only as a cover but the weight because of its actual weight. And that's what it looks like. Now this is just a cutting board, and once I cut it to size, the extra material I had created a handle for using stainless steel screws. These screws penetrate and attach, but they don't go all the way through the cover. So the bottom is pure food grade, no metal whatsoever. Let's check on the collards. This is day 2. Starting to get some popping. Seeds are sticking to the cover. Just hit it with the super antifungal. We're done until tomorrow. Doing the same thing again today. Dome off, cover off, spray. Put the cover back on, dome off. I waited to spray the collards so you could see the tiny little hairs that are on the roots. It's not mold. Some people confuse it with mold, but it's not. What I'm going to do is the same thing I did the last couple of times you saw. I'm going to spray it, cover it, put it back. Ooh, them collards are looking really good. Really good. Great germination. Even though the seed's a little old, it's still great germination. I'm going to hit it with the antifungal, the super antifungal. And this is the same as in the book. Minus the neem. I would only add neem now, I think, if I was seeing some sort of bug like a gnat or black fly or something like that. I wanted to show you here too, the cover. See how these little holes coming off? All I do is I can just tap this cover, and all these holes that came off, a lot of that will no longer hit the bottom. It doesn't have a chance because I knocked it off. That's one good thing about the cover. Here's the collards right now, and they look fantastic. They're still quite short, so we're going to keep the cover on there. We're going to keep the cover on there until it reaches the height of the tray right here on the side. Do you see my finger? Alright, the collards have pushed the cover up to the same level as the tray. That's the indicator when to take it off. See all those seed holes stuck on there? That's a good thing. Look at those beautiful collards. This will be the last time that I spray the super antifungal, and I'm going to put the blackout dome on these more or longer until they reach an inch or so above the side. Alright, that's the height of the collards. That's about 2 inches above the tray. Now we're going to take the dome off. This is what it looks like. There's a little bit of seed coating still on there, but those will pop right off as the cotyledons spread in the bright light above. Collards are looking quite fine, but this brassica is doing something others don't typically do, and that's we're getting some stragglers that are tall. It's not as uniform as what I'm saying. Still Beautiful grow. The cotties are starting to grow. The cotyledons, the little leaves here, the first two leaves, they're starting to spread, and it's starting to create a canopy of sorts over the cross top here. I've got a fan on it. The way I'm growing is I'm trying to maximize the grow, get a nice harvest weight, big beautiful cotyledon leaf, and a great tasting dish. So that's what we're going to do. Now, once a day when I come out, like I'm doing today, I take and I rub these like this, just lightly. If there's any seeds, which there's not really, but if there are any seeds on here, that helps that. It's therapeutic. I like rubbing my microgreens. I'm sorry, and a little embarrassed to say, but I like rubbing my microgreens. And it also kind of moves them around some, and it gives the weaker plants that may be hidden a little bit an opportunity to get some light and grow. I may be repeating myself, and if I am, please forgive me. It's just that I do this videoing once a day, and I can't remember what I've said in past days. So right now the cotyledons are looking really good, and the micros, if you look at them, they're evening out the height and all of it, which is really cool. But if you look at that, look at the cotyledons, they've created a pretty much flat canopy because they're fighting for light. Now what we want to do as a maximum grow is we want to spread that some. We want to push the micros past the edge so that we can open up points that light can enter within, we'll call it a canopy, and that will grow further other cotyledons, which will make the overall grow better and increase your overall weight. So let's do that. First I start by kind of pushing the side here and rubbing it, pushing the side and rubbing it just like that. And believe me when I say this actually works, because some of these micros that are in here that couldn't see the light, they're going to rush to get to the light because they see a break. And that, I think that's nature. That's just the way nature works. If you like a smaller microgreen with a big cotyledon leaf, you can put these things to the light just as soon as they pop. And you can see those first true leaves beginning. You can put them there and they won't grow as tall. You can let them grow to the cotyledon stage, nice full cotyledon stage, or you can take them like I see on a lot of places online, on YouTube videos and YouTube creators. They'll take them when the cotyledons are real tiny and the stems a lot of time are long because they're planting a little dense, but you can take them in any which way, any which preference. And that's what I'm advocating for. You do you. You do whatever you want to do. To me, this is what I'm doing. I think it's more exciting to maximize the grow, to see how much you can get. So I'm pushing the limits of this method. This is what I call the IHG method. It was first coined in the closed Facebook group that I developed for people who buy the book. And there's an individual in there, I wish I could remember his name, but he coined IHG. And IHG is simply the acronym I for intense, H for hydroponic, and G for grows. So intense hydroponic grows is the majority of the name of the book. Microgreens Intense Hydroponic Grows is the name of the book. And in that book, my style, the main difference with my style is it's hydroponically grown on screens. You do not use any soil, you do not use any mats, you do not use something that you have to keep replenishing. You don't have to buy those expensive mats to go hydroponic. You don't have to buy the soil. You don't have to deal with the soil coming off with your roots. You don't have to harvest really close and being super careful to not get the dirt involved. So that's the benefits of the IHG growing on screens. There's nobody online in their right mind besides me that would grow microgreens this dense. And I want you to look at how much the weight is when I'm done. With IHG, you almost never have any issues. Collards are looking really, really good. The cotyledons are starting to spread nicely. Good sized cotyledons, that's what I want. Got some small true leaves starting to come through. Let's see here. I'm gonna let it grow a little longer. I didn't anticipate letting it go this way. I just have a feeling I just want to grow it longer. I don't know why. Just am. The collards look pretty cool. I think we're gonna harvest them today. We've got a good true leaf on most of them, and that's probably good enough to maximize this grow. Side view, just to show you how it's weeping over the edges there. And then we got the top view with all those pretty true leaves. Yeah, so we're going to do a harvest today. I'm going to show you something new I haven't showed before. Pretty windy day today, quite cold too. Even got some snow flurries yesterday. But the sun is shining, so it's looks deceptively warm out here, and it is not. But it's time to harvest, and we can't wait on nice weather. I'll lift them out here. What they look like here, and then the roots. Alright, it's just like I do every time. Get the carpet of microgreens out. But you see how flexible that is? Right there. Now there's seed holes in between there, and that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how you can get rid of them while it's still attached and clean them while they're still attached. Now you can do this outside like I'm going to do, or you can do it over the sink. It's easy to do. Let me show you. Because they are cinched down with the screen, you don't have to worry about being too terribly delicate. Alright, what you can do is just move this up like so. Move the microgreens just like that. You can knock out a whole lot of those seed holes. I don't know if the camera is going low enough where you can see them falling out. But you can do that and lift it and rotate it. I'm going to do that off camera. I'm not going to sit here and go through that whole process with you. And then I'll show you how I'm going to harvest them on that rack. When you wash these, when you rinse these, you can probably see the debris down here and all that. They look kind of rough, but there's a way to make them, if it concerns you at all, you can take these microgreens. Let me get to the bottom here and grab them like so, and you can take and shake them, get extra water out and extra seeds out, and it also kind of fluffs them back up. And put it back in the tray, and essentially you've got them not restored, but more or less less stressful for you when you go to harvest. Now you can leave a little bit of water in the bottom if you want to and let these air dry, or you can harvest them wet if you want to do it this way. Okay, this is staged. Put this board up here just so I could film it. Normally I would just do this on the table behind me like you've seen many times, but I'm going to go ahead and harvest this now. There's still a little bit of dampness to it, but that's okay. All right, there you go. It's all cut. I want to bring the mat over to you. I want you to see it. I want you to see that there's nothing wrong, nothing in it, no disease, no mold, anything like that. So I'm going behind the camera and I'll hold it up. Let me adjust this viewer so I can see that you can see it. This is very dense. There's not a space in here, hardly at all. It's all taken by an individual micro. Every square itty bitty spot on that screen is taken. That's what happens when you plant it really dense. I don't know of any other way you can grow micros this dense and not have issues, consistently not have issues like I don't. This is the remaining, remaining roots. A lot of it came off with the, when I pulled it out of the tray. You see how dark that's gotten now? That's normal, that's natural. If you watched in my videos before, you'll know that this is the way I weigh. And I'll explain it because there are newcomers here. So I turn the scale on. I use a glass so that I can elevate the microgreens above and still be able to see the screen. We're going to zero out the glass and this tub, which is the exact one that the microgreens are on here. And we're using an empty one just to zero it out. That way when we get the actual weight, it's nothing but microgreens. Okay, this grow is a little damper than what I normally do, so I'm going to subtract some weight off of it for that because it hasn't completely dried. I usually harvest them dry, but I wanted to show you how they can be rinsed if you don't care. Okay, so this is 52 ounces. That's a lot. That's 3.27268, which is 3.27, 3.3 ounces, 3.3 pounds, excuse me. So let's take a third of a pound and let's make it an even 3 pound weight. So I think that's pretty fair, don't you? The amount of moisture that may still be on there. Let's make it an even 3 pounds. All right. What's that in grams before I take it off? 1,482 grams. Can you guys see that? I'm looking in the camera now. Yeah, okay. So now, I've never tasted collard microgreens that I can remember. I can't remember if I grew these before. Maybe I did. I didn't include them in the book, I know that. So, let me get one. You see the nice little true leaf on there. Let's give it a taste. Okay. It's got the basic brassica taste. It's hard to discern it from like cabbage. Cabbage has got a little spicier taste to it. So does kohlrabi, but it's hard to discern it terribly much from broccoli at this stage anyway. Let me taste another one. Yep, I stick by that assessment. Maybe some of you guys have a more delicate palate where you can taste differences like that, but I can't. So as a microgreen, it's probably got all the same, or very close to the same nutrients as all your brassica family, which includes cabbage, kale, broccoli, kohlrabi, mustards are definitely going to taste different, but there's turnips, but they basically all have the, probably, I don't know for sure, but I imagine they're pretty close to the same nutrient value, especially when you're feeding them nutrient and they're processing that nutrient and it's captured as the vapors transpire out into the atmosphere. So anyway, that was a pretty great grow. It's Brent, you guys.